Hello folks, welcome back to my Huevember color challenge. We are on day 10, finally in double digits today. I'm going to go ahead and start out with that photosensitivity warning. Once again, if you are sensitive to bright lights, flashing images, anything like that, try to focus on the canvas to the right side of the screen. The one on the left side is going to be twisting around and jumping, as you can see, whereas the one on the right is going to be stationary. So for today's Huevember, we are doing another side character. Her name is Rose, and she goes along with Jameson and Amelia's story, which is the one that has changed so many times. It doesn't have a solid storyline anymore, and I don't have very many solid side characters for that story either. So Rose does not have much of a story beyond having some sort of connection with Jameson and or Amelia and the personality that I've set up for her. Nevertheless, I do really enjoy drawing her. I love this short hairstyle she's got with the sandy blonde hair and that little crooked nose. I love her profile. Unfortunately, due to the lighting I did later on, it doesn't really shine through as much as I wanted it to. I want her to have that crooked, broken nose, and I didn't really get it in the end, unfortunately. So that's just something to keep in mind for the next time I draw her. Her personality, I think, is pretty interesting too. She's definitely a very cold, very guarded character. She only looks out for herself and the select few people that she really considers family. You have to work very hard to gain her trust, but if you are lucky enough to get close to her, she's very fiercely protective. She's like I like to call her a mama lion, like a big mama lion. Alright, we are going in with some block coloring here. I did mention in an earlier Huevember, I think it was the one for Addison, that I have this problem with accidentally making skin tones too light on all my characters, and the reason for that is because I always block out the skin color first, and it's usually done, as you can see, on this plain white background, which makes the skin look like the correct shade, but as I color the background in later, the skin usually looks too light, sort of by comparison. So I really tried to keep that in mind as I was starting out with Rose's skin here. She doesn't have necessarily dark skin, but she does have some Hispanic heritage, so I definitely didn't want it to be really, really white. And I think I achieved what I was going for by the finished product. So for the shading, I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I really wanted to do some softer shading, experiment with that a little bit instead of that blocky cell shading I've been doing with the rest of my Huevember pieces. So once again, we started out with that multiply layer over the whole canvas, then erasing the areas I want to be highlighted. Then, as you can see, I'm going back in and softening up those hard lines a bit to sort of blend the highlight back into the figure, making everything really soft and gentle. I am keeping a couple hard lines here and there to indicate a more dramatic cast shadow, like where her jaw would cast a shadow on her neck, and how the fingers that are turned away from the light source would be in a deeper shadow, stuff like that. I kept them a little sharper just to add some texture and interest to the shading, make it look a little more realistic. I thought this was going to be trickier than just using the cell shading that I normally do, but I didn't have as much trouble with it as I thought I would. And it just really lent a really soft, really gentle appearance to the whole piece, which I really liked. I thought it turned out very well. And then after blocking out the highlighting, we were going in with some darker shadows and blending those out again as well, so that we get both sides of the dimension, the highlighting and the shading. And again, just lightly blending all that out, very soft, very light. And then at this point, I kind of realized I didn't have enough yellow in this piece to make it look like the yellow Huevember drawing challenge. So I went in again with some more cast lights and rim lighting here with just a very, very stark, very bright yellow. I put it on the shine layer to give it some luminosity, and I just blended that in wherever I thought I needed a little bit extra shine and highlight. Just going in here with all the rim lighting before I blend it in. There we go. And this took a good while because I was just sort of feeling it out. I didn't really have a plan for what I was doing. Filling in more on the face as well because the hand was kind of just taking over the whole piece. I tried some edge lighting on the other side there, but it didn't really work out, so I got rid of it. And then the final touch here, just to add a little light glimmer, extra highlight to the high points of the face, the bridge of the nose, the lips, the chin, the shoulder, everything like that. And that is Rose with my final yellow Huevember, thank goodness. Tomorrow I get to go back into green, neon green, and we'll be heading into the cooler colors after that. So if you'd like to see those next pieces as I finish them, head on over to my Patreon and check out the Content Fiend and Video Star tiers to see all my Huevembers as soon as they're finished, as well as exclusive and behind-the-scenes content and early access to all of my work. If you would like to follow me on my art journey, you can do so on TikTok and Instagram, and I will see you back here tomorrow for my next Huevember drawing, going back to green. Yay! Have a wonderful rest of your day, you guys. Bye.